You guys, you
Her caption says, moving back home at 36 is not sounding like a bad idea at all.
guys, I don't know why I've just been thugging it out in my mental, just suffering, trying to be grown when I could just go back home, move in with my parents.
Trying to be grown.
It's looking real. Coming home and making sure the house is clean before my parents get home from work
At
to live
36?
for free. It's not sounding too bad anymore. It is not sounding too bad. I'm going home, baby. I'm going home.
Her caption says, 36, two kids, move back in with my mom.
Yes, 36 with two kids, and I moved back in with my mom. This was a big decision for me. This was a hard decision for me because the apartment that I was in was like the beginning of my journey, the beginning of my awakening, the beginning of me becoming who I am. So it was bittersweet, but I have bigger plans. And God told me the only way that I can get to that is if I move back in with my mom. And at first I was like, what? What? God, are you sure? Because my mom happens to be one of my biggest triggers. So I knew that he was not only doing that for me, he was also doing it so that me and my mom's relationship can get better. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't where it should have been. And yeah, so that was
No,
one of
that
those
ain't how that
things,
works.
and I'm happy about it. I'm happy about my decision. I am grateful that I have a mom who was willing to say, yeah, I came with her with my vision, I came with her with my plan, and she didn't even question it. She just, okay, that was it. So I've been living back with my mom since the ending of January, but I just gave up my apartment.
I'm not moving in with anybody who I consider to be one of my biggest triggers. Triggers for what? You just saying she stressed you out? Here's the thing. She said her apartment was the beginning. What I mean, how long ago did you move into the apartment? Because I'm pretty sure you probably already had your kids at that point. So did you just start beginning adulting like a year or two ago, even though you had kids? That's what I want to know. And listen, people fall on hard times. It's okay to come together, but just being honest, the relationship will probably get better if you actually distance yourself because yeah, there is some people who just aren't meant to live together under the same roof. And sometimes it can be and a lot of times it will be your own family because and the people who raised you because it's really over. Their job is done. And you've actually had kids now. And so it's time for you to focus on your kids and to be able to take care of them. But what it appears is, and looking at the description now, description says I'm a single mother of two. So whatever your life circumstances, somehow you've ended up single with kids. We're just doing things backwards. We're doing things backwards. And it's so backwards that you have kids and you're almost 40. Not her, but I'm just saying in general, people can have kids and they're almost 40. And it's so backwards that they're actually moving back home to have to be taken care of by mom and dad or mom or whatever. You see how ironic that is? You did things backwards in your life as far as the way things are supposed to be done. You're having kids without a family. You're having a family without a family. You're doing things backwards. And then it ultimately ends up regressing you backwards so much to the point to where you actually have to move back home like you're a kid. It's a lot of irony in that. Y'all, before we get back into it, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. It only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And it's really just a click. And if you're here anyway, you might as well just press that like button, click that like button. And also if you could hype.
Was one of the reasons, and I'm happy about it. I'm happy about my decision. I am grateful that I have a mom who was willing to say, yeah, I came with her with my vision, I came with her with my plan, and she didn't even question it. She just, okay, that was it. So I've been living back with my mom since the ending of January, but I just gave up my apartment at the end of March. it was bittersweet. I'll put a video up about that and show you guys around the house, and but yeah, this journey is gonna be a journey for me, but I'm ready, and I just want to take you guys on it with me. It's not easy because I'm dealing with a lot. I'm still dealing with my lupus. I have my ups and downs, my
Mm,
flares, and on top of that, um, my dad was diagnosed with cancer.
mm.
So, and I'm his only child that's in New York. So I'm dealing with that. And it's hard. Yeah, it's hard, but I'm doing what, God told me to do, and I am being strong, and I'm putting everything in his hands. So, yeah, I'm dealing with that, and I'm just happy about my journey. And that right now, for the last 3 years, I've been getting close to God, but this season has been just me and God. And what better way? God said, "This is the time. I have no man in my life. I don't got to worry about saying, oh, where I'm gonna go with my boyfriend or whatever the case may be. It's just me and God." And yeah, I'm excited about it. And yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. And I'm going to be talking more about what I've been going through with my lupus, and this whole journey of mine has been a lot for me. But I want to share that with you guys because I feel like when I put certain videos up and people reach out to me, it makes me feel better. And I love that I'm able to help someone else. Yes.
Yeah. Sad to hear that she has all that going on, along with all that she has going on, which is, listen, to be a mother of two kids alone is not easy. It's not easy. And now she's moving back home. So ultimately, it was just too much for her to carry, along with everything else she has to deal with. And so I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I mean, y'all, and it's not about wishing it on people because we make these decisions. But ask the audience something. I mean, do y'all just ever just have one of those days when you just not feeling it? You just not feeling it. You can feel it from the beginning of the morning that it's gonna be an uphill battle. And some of y'all might, it just might be yourself. The only person in this world you gotta take care of yourself. And you might even have all your affairs in order. You might have investments in the bank. You might have be stable. You don't worry about what if my car breaks down or my engine blows out. You don't have those type of concerns, those type of worries, or I'm living check to check. I'm not able to save. But you can still have those days where it's just an uphill battle. We all have them. Now imagine you decide to be single as a woman out here, and you got these kids that every day you got to show up for, as well as you have to make sure you're providing logistically and providing them stability ultimately. And then also, she's got, it sounds like, a medical condition, and then just the external things that can happen in life anyway. That's why you just have to be conscientious about the things you're taking on, because man, life is just, sometimes it's just hard to just get your own energy together and just be all the way there. A lot of times that's going to come down to your habits and your momentum, but it's very hard to gain momentum and ultimately gain progress when you keep on putting self-inflicted wounds on yourself and sabotaging your own life. And then you end up here and now you're about to be at home, so that's going to be an extra degree of uncomfortability because she's already mentioned that her mom is one of her triggers. So she's probably not going to be completely comfortable there as if when she was in her own space. So I just say that to say, just think more about the type of decisions that you're making, the type of things that you're ultimately taking on, that you're going to have to take on for the long term, and really evaluate if you're strong enough to handle it.
Girl, get up. We got shit to do. Nobody talks about how humbling moving back home as an adult actually is. Like, 1 minute you're
Her caption says adulting, but at my parents' house. Apparently, this is episode 7.
fully independent, and then the next you're explaining to your mother why there's another Amazon package at the door. So we were up super
Hold
early
on, hold on,
today.
hold
I
on,
had
hold
to
on,
get
hold on. Adulting, but I'm at my parents' house. But look at that closet.
home as an adult actually is. Like 1 minute you're fully independent, and then the next you're explaining to your mother.
Look at this. And this is what we see a lot of times, y'all. Look at her closet. I'm going to go up and down. Look at her closet. All her bags, clothes, shoes, everything. And see, this is the other side of the coin that we don't ever really get to talk about or sometimes even see, is the fact that people have opportunities to get ahead. And what do? They're spending. They're not saving. She has a clear opportunity to be saving aggressively. And not everybody gets that opportunity that you have as far as being able to stay home with their parents. But you have a clear opportunity, and it looks like she took the opportunity to become a bigger consumer. And I think she was even about to say in the car that she has Amazon packages waiting. And then people end up at rock bottom, or they want to be complaining that this is the worst economy ever. But when you had opportunities, you didn't prepare so that you can be prepared for whatever may happen in the economy, in your life, anything.
Why there's another Amazon package at the door. So we were up super early today. I had to get up early so I could head to the bank before getting my day started. My intentions were already set, so I knew today was going to be amazing. I did my makeup. I found me a cute little fit, and then we are riding in an Uber, aka my parents are driving me around, and we are headed to the car dealership. Yay! If you know me, you know I've been thugging it for it's been a couple years. Not gonna lie, I have not had my own car, but today we gonna change that. So after some negotiating, the deal is done. They swear they cannot bring them prices down in them car dealerships. Like, please do what I say. Thank you. Like, do y'all want the money or not? I know y'all need a sale for today. But anywho, I signed all my papers and we were good to go. It was official. So then we went and got food because they were taking forever on the car. They had to do a few things, detail it, blah, 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 etc. At this point, it was 5:30 p.m. We were in the dealership all day, did not eat, started getting a headache, started getting irritated. So yeah, we needed a quick little pick-me-up, and then we headed back to the dealership and waited probably like another hour and a half. I was very patient because it was just so well worth it. And now I'm driving back home in my own shit.
His caption says, if you live with your parents in 2026, you a bum.
Look, I don't use no hashtag, but if you find this video, follow me. Look, if you move back in with your parents in 2026, your ass a bum. See how stupid that shit sound, bro? Look, man, that's the last thing I would call somebody to move back in with their parents, G. How goddamn unaffordable this economy is, bro. I actually applaud you if you move back in with your parents, because this shit is not for the weak, bro. This is really survival of the fittest, bro. You paying your bills on time, paying your power bill, your rent, car payments, or whatever on time, G. Salute, because this shit is hard out here, gang. I wouldn't. If you already living with your parents, man, help your parents out with the bills, man. Throw them a cool 300, 250 something. That way y'all all can save money, bro. The goal is to get ahead and not backtrack, man. Look.
Yeah, he's young. But see, again, what a lot of these young people do, see, he's buying all these designer clothes. Supreme, if you don't know what that is, it's a very designer brand, exclusive brand. It's not cheap, as well as I'm sure other things. I think being a bum is a mentality. It's not being capable. It's not being able to strategize effectively. And ultimately, being a bum, in my opinion, is just not having a plan. Not having a plan, and especially if you're living with your parents, being a bum is not having a plan of how you're about to get out of their house. I think that's being a bum. I think anybody could fall into circumstances. I mean, you could, like she was saying, she has a medical diagnosis. You could actually have to have a surgery. Medical expenses aren't cheap, but it's just about having a plan. Anything in life. If you have a plan, I'm not going to look at you like a bum. I respect you if you have a plan. But if your plan is to take advantage of the fact that you don't have adult expenses, and the way that you take advantage of that is you just consume more and you just spend more money and you make other people rich while you progressively get poorer, even though you have opportunities that not everyone has to be able to start to build some type of foundation, to be able to start heading towards a wealth trajectory, then I look at that as a bum because you're ultimately just not resourceful. A bum isn't resourceful. And when we talk about resourcefulness, we're just talking about stewardship. And you're not even stewarding your opportunity correctly.
Girl, tell me why I done moved back into my mama house. And before I clear it all up, let me just show y'all this is proof that my baby hates sleeping with clothes on. Shoot, the girl even hates wearing clothes throughout the day. And at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm not fighting with no one almost 2-year-old baby, okay? Because look, she don't even want her hair done. Now, let's get back to where I started. I done moved back into my mama house, and let me explain why. Baby, the cost of living sucks. Like, why everything's so expensive? Rent was $2 where I was staying at. Like, everything was just so high. Not to mention, y'all, my car had literally broke down on me a couple months ago, and I was literally trying to figure out what God was telling me. Now, I done been through a lot of stuff in my life, and usually things like this would literally make me crash, and I'll probably start crying and get depressed. Not gonna lie. But honestly, God was telling me that this is your chapter of basically being financially free, getting you that nice car that you wanted, and not only that, getting closer with God. I'm not gonna lie, my faith in God has been so much stronger. Like, the average person, this would have broke, but it did not break me. I actually am excited with living with my mom this time because I'm going in with a plan. Not only am I just staying with my mom, I'm going in with a mission, baby. I'm literally about to be stacking and grinding, okay? And not only that, I'm learning to just be quiet, baby. The way I've been reading my Bible and God has been saying, hush, stop telling people too much, baby. I have been living by that. This is no shade to my family or friends, but I'm not telling nobody my next move. Like, literally, God has so much in store for me. I can't even tell y'all my next move after this one. Because I learned that your enemies that do not want you to succeed be the ones that are closest to you, or the ones that talk to the enemy. Like, literally, like the ones you talk to every day, maybe telling somebody that don't even want to see you succeed. So I learned to just shush my mouth. Now, mark my words. Watch how God turn this around. Amen. Girl, tell me why I done moved back into.
Here's another thing when it comes to not having a plan that you really have to consider. When you don't have a plan, it's easy to just be making all these decisions that ultimately lead to you putting self-inflicted wounds on yourself, especially kids, having a bunch of kids and not thinking about anything. That's usually people who make impulsive decisions don't have plans for their life. And that's why they make such impulsive decisions, because they're feathers in the wind. They're just completely acting off of passion and other vices. But when you have a plan, you quickly expose the fact that in most cases that there's not a lot of room for error. And what you would reveal is that I don't have time to be sabotaging myself. I don't have time to be taking on things, because the more you would take on, the more you would find that it would actually push your plan back as far as how much time it would take. And so when you see a lot of people making self-inflicted wounds on themselves, doing things that are clearly not in their best interest, you got to wonder, do you have a plan? And most people don't have a plan. 95% of people don't have a plan in this world. And I'm not just talking about things as far as plans about how they're going to practically get out of their parents' house. Most people don't even have a plan for their life. They don't know where they want to be in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. They don't know. That's 95% of people in this world. And so you can see how easy it is for them to continue to make these habitual decisions and these habitual choices that ultimately make their own life harder. And then by the time they finally do get to the point to where they're ready to make a plan, now they have to make a plan around all these things, which just makes them not even want to make the plan to begin with. And then they just say, oh, this is just too hard. It's too complicated. But it's because you didn't have a plan in the first place when things weren't complicated. And so now you got to try to plan around this insane circumstance that you didn't have to be in to begin with.
I will be 25 in June. I just moved back into my parents' house like almost a month ago. Actually, a month ago in like 2 days. Are there 31 days in April? I don't know. Hi guys, if you don't know me, my name is Ashay. First, I was a little bit hesitant on making content about me moving back home with my parents. At the same time, there are other young women out there like me who are living at home with their parents, who are willing to make that type of sacrifice in order to get to where they want to be financially. I want to say to my Raleigh community, I love you so much. I've made so many friends, and I am now near Burlington. If you're in Burlington or near Burlington, want to like go out, coffee, or do Pilates, because I'm trying to get back active. Y'all know that work from home job ain't no good, because why am I sitting on my behind all day? So if you want to just take a walk, whatever the case may be.
She got a work from home job, living at home with her parents. She got a work from home job, living at home with her parents. And the first thing she's trying to do is find more activities to do with her free time instead of finding a second job. She has a remote job. She could easily set up her day in a way to where she could conserve her energy, and she should be trying to, and she could be, I'm not going to tell her what she could be trying to get a second job and really run it up while she's staying at home. Because just by the look of her, I would say she's definitely spending. Oh, she's definitely spending. She's trying to find ways to spend. Hey, y'all, if y'all want to come get coffee, anything, any activities, y'all want to go see the new movie, the new Supergirl movie out, holla at me. She moved back home, and now she has a opportunity in her mind to be more social and to spend more money and to hang out and have a good time. It's not urgent for her to get out of her parents' house.
Again, I said I'm saving money, so don't have me outside every weekend. I'm just saying, it definitely feels like something that sort of a hard decision, because it's like, girl, do I really want to do this? But at the same time, yes, why not? This sacrifice is going to put me in situations where I wouldn't have been in, or I may not have been in that situation as soon as I can be had I not moved back home with my parents to save money. If you're considering moving back home with your parents, maybe this is your sign. I'm not going to say it is, but maybe this is your sign. My advice would be to pray on it, really sit with it and understand why you're doing what you're doing. And even when you're in your parents' home, pray and remember why it is that you're doing what you're doing. Remember your end goal, because there will be times where you're looking like, I don't know if I can do this. But again, you have to remember why you're there. You have to stay on track. You have to stay consistent in whatever it is that you're doing that's helping you reach your goals. So, yeah.
She's saying she's trying to save money, so don't have me out every Saturday, every weekend, or whatever. Sweetheart, the best way to save money is going to be to work more. It doesn't have to be something that you have to fight against anymore if you just work more. I'm a testament to that. There's literally times where I'm like, I work so much. I'm not trying to brag about it, but I work, and then it's like, I need to treat myself. And what I realize is I have so many fixed habits that have to get done every day, that by the time it's all said and done, it'll be a day that I've designated and I said, you need to go out and do something. And then I'm like, I'll sit there and I'm like, okay, if I'm resisting it this much, because I just don't want to, because by the time everything is done, I don't really have much left. And then I'd rather just chill. And then I ultimately end up not saving money because I'm working. I literally have to say, okay, at this point, this is supposed to be leisure, but it's dang near like you would be forcing yourself to have leisure, and it would be actually having the opposite effect. So just go do whatever you want. Just chill. Because and that could be the case for her. You clearly have more energy. And I would argue you're not going to ever have more energy than you have now. You're in your youth. She says she's 24 or 25. So if any time was going to be the best time, if you were ever going to be in a better position, you're at home with your parents. So you're able to save your money. You have a remote job. You clearly have energy to where you're looking to spend it. You're looking to get out. You're looking to do things, as well as you probably just want to get out of your house anyway, out of your parents' house anyway, and not just be looking at them all day. If there was ever an opportunity to capitalize, to be able to really work harder and be able to really set yourself up for moving forward, to where you could have a very great life, now would be the time. But if you're not going to do it now, and if you're not going to steward what you have now, I can't imagine that when you take on more responsibility, that you're going to be ready to do it at that point, if need be. You'll never be more comfortable than you are now. His caption says, move back in with your parents. 5K to 25K is mandatory.
I can believe me, but somebody actually listened to my advice about moving back in with their parents. Somebody actually listened to me when I said, drop your ego, drop your pride, don't care about what the naysayers and your friends are saying, and move back in with your parents. Somebody actually listened to my black ass. And this is from a video I did a while back. Like the first video I ever did about money and saving your 5,000, your 10,000, your 15,000, your 20,000, your 25,000. It was like the first video. Bro hit me up. He was like, hey man, I moved back in with my parents. I got $10,000. I said, bro, how old are you? He said, man, I'm 35. I said, double salute. So let this be your sign. If you have been going back and forth in your mind, and you got that lease that you in right now, and it's coming up for it to end.
I hope that man, he say he's 35. Man, I hope he's got 3 jobs. I hope he's working a lot and got 3 jobs. I wouldn't be surprised if he has kids. And that's what got him out of the game. Again, these self-inflicted wounds, if you don't have a plan. I wouldn't be surprised. It's a lot of dudes that got kids, and that child support is kicking their ass. And they dang near have to move back in because they take it out like it's off of your gross income, but they take it out from your net income. Don't let that, they take, or let me rephrase it better. They evaluate what they're going to take out based off your gross income, and then they collect it from your net income. I feel like that should encapsulate it perfectly. I shouldn't even have to say anything else after that.
Sign. If you have been going back and forth in your mind, and you got that lease that you in right now, and it's coming up for it to end, and you're looking at your bank account, and you're looking at your lease, and you're looking at all your expenses in between, and your bank account don't match up with what your lease and your expenses are saying, when that lease ends, so does your residency at that apartment, townhome, whatever condo, it ends as well. I'm just going to keep saying it. Do you know what you can do with $5,000 extra? Not just $5,000. We talking about extra. Do you know what you going to do with $10,000 extra dollars? $15,000 extra to $25,000 extra dollars? Do you know what you can do? Map out and write down everything you can do with an extra $5,000 to $25,000. And then you look at that list and you tell me you can't drop your pride, drop your ego for a couple years, months, or whatever the case may be to achieve that. Tell me you can't do that when you look at that list.
What you can do with an extra 5 or extra 25K? I'm assuming he's saying you have no money. And do you know what you could do if you had 5K, 25K? What you need to do is you need to not touch it, and you need to leave it alone. And you need to ideally, let's just take it from the maximum. If you got 25K, you should go ahead and invest the 20K, and you should keep the 5K, 3 to 5K in a savings account just in case something happens. And then that 25K that you invest, you need to pretend like it doesn't exist, and you need to find a way to still continue to add to it every 2 weeks or every month, and just allow it to grow that way. But when you add to it, you need to act like it doesn't even exist anymore, and like you don't even have it anymore, because nobody's preparing for retirement, and it's going to be a thing. It absolutely is going to be a thing. And even if not retirement, you just need to prepare for the future, man. It's just that simple. If you prepare for the future, you can actually have a little bit of peace in the present, and you can enjoy the present a little bit better. But it's going to be hard to enjoy the present when you're constantly in survival mode, just waiting for something to happen that you know inevitably will, that you're ultimately not prepared for. So I think we can pretty much get his gist. Y'all, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Again, only takes a second and it's only a click, and it helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I'm a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we actually get more points per hype. And hype was designed for smaller channels. So that's why. But if you run across a video and you don't see the hype button, then it's probably been over 7 days, and hype usually vanishes after 7 days. So that's why. But if you did want to hype, it's usually just best practice to just go ahead and hype while the iron is hot on a newer, fresh video. And then also, if you want to become a member of the channel, join buttons on the video. And what becoming a member of the DXU family will come with is you would get badges next to your comments, so people will be able to see that you are a member whenever you leave a comment, as well as you would get early access to content, as well as exclusive content that's not available to everyone else on YouTube. So again, join buttons on the video if you want to become a member. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.